Somebody must be there to sit with the operators and make sure nobody takes advantage of the other.
While we're talking about transportation, the issues of fossil fuel, he also talked about it. But now we're talking about reducing emissions. So people are looking towards e-vehicles. That brings the issue of electricity, solar. How do we get, I mean, some clients, they already have the buses. Angola, for instance, has electric buses that are out there. We talked also about trams. He talked about rail. But can we move, how quickly do you think we can move? Some will say we have not finished dealing with Danfo you're talking about. So how quickly can we move from where we are to where we cut down on fossil fuel without necessarily cutting down on the use of vehicles and bringing the e-vehicles? Tapping into solar as well.
Yes, well, you can't run away discussing the reduction in fossil fuel consumption when we talk about sustainability, because when you use a fossil fuel, you're only depleting the resource that you are not putting back. So you are not anybody who really looks into the sustainable development programs should not. Should be looking at a way where to reduce the fossil fuel consumption. But for Nigeria, as an economy, is a chicken and egg issue here. The less of fossil fuel consumption, the less income we have. That is a chicken and egg issue. So which one comes first? Anyway, that's on one side. Then, before I go into that, let me just quickly allude to one observation about increase in increase in price for mass transit. And I don't think the people in mass transit now, they don't have any reason whatsoever to increase their price, because it was only the price of PMS that increased. It's not the price of diesel. They've been running on diesel. So I don't think any one of them should be thinking, maybe if the authorities are listening, I don't think and they have no reason to increase.
They've not increased since 2010.
I don't think there's any reason for that, because it's only the price of a PMS that the government increased, not the price of diesel. It's okay, so that on one side. Now, talking about the reduction in fossil fuel consumption, going to e-vehicles and the rest of it. Yes, I think I was even discussing with my wife yesterday about these electric cars. And the first thing I told her was, look, how do you charge the batteries? But most of us are using generators, aren't we? We're all using generators in our houses. So you can as well, when you point the car, your gen will power. So honestly, I don't think we need to look far. We don't need to wait again and say, oh, we're not there, we're not there. No, we're supposed to start now. All right, most of our depots, if the people in the telecommunication industries, those are the service providers, if the reason for not coming, if the reason was electricity in Nigeria, I don't think any one of them will be in Nigeria by now. They are there, they are surviving, and they are still powering their mast with the generators. So if we have people, we have companies who are ready to use electric cars, electric buses, I think the time is now. All right, the time is now, so that they can charge, they can have generators in their depots, charge these trucks and let them move.
What about gas? I recall about 1989-90.
CNG.
Yes, some cars were running on gas.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of gas it is.
I think we can have a policy on that, all right, so that that will make us use more of the gas, and that we have a CNG or LPGs, that the gas can, this is a mass transit kind, because we're still flaring this gas in the Delta area. We're still flaring them, though we were told about the problem of bringing the gas to even the power stations to be able to use. And I was going to look, if they are blowing the pipeline, can't we use the barge? Can't we compress this gas in the barge and bring the, just thinking aloud, I don't know, somebody will correct me, because it's a world of alternatives. Let's look at it. It may be a little bit expensive to do, but that means we can bypass. We must not just say because the pipeline has been blown, then we fold our arms. No. It must be it's a world of alternative. Yes. And I don't see any reason why we cannot compress this gas in the barge and take them to Lagos, for example, and pipe them to the stations that need to use them. So the same thing, we can still collect this gas from the Delta, put them in the barge, bring them to depots.
mass
You know,
transit
yes.
was running with
So,
gas
well,
in
so-
Benin.
So
And I
we
know
can make it
Flag
a
Bus also
national
did that.
policy, right? We can make it a national policy.
Really?
All right, that a percentage of the number of vehicles you must use for mass transit must use gas. Okay, we must use what we have. We have gas, and we must use it. So other cities, other countries that don't have gas, they are running on their gas. All right, and apart from that, we can also use the biogas to run most of the system, where you can use convert from the waste, generate the gas, and use the gas to run most of our buses and our vehicles. So it's possible. It's just a matter for us to keep to keep going in that direction.
Let me just add here. The issue you mentioned is, just to quickly say, that there must be systems in place. There must be policies and technology for that sustainable. That's the point you just alluded to. If our policies are made, like I mentioned, that mass transit policy, it already highlighted some of these issues, because I have access to that document. It was a 2015 or 2014 December document, and it passed through the Federal Executive Council. Now, if you have those policies that says what mass transit should be, what kind of technology to use, that's solar, electric, gas, and the rest. If they are all there, then you now have the systems. That is the kind of transportation system, that is the intermodal various system. Then you now have a transport system. So it's a complex issue, but the key word there is sustainable. And just recently, I think it was in The Nation, I suggested, with the increase in fuel price, because it's likely to increase and decrease because it's now liberalized. Now, if we don't want to have hunger and poverty spread, we should start thinking of a transport fund and talk in terms of the mobility. And I'm not talking in terms of the infrastructure, how it affects the individual, that is within the cities and the states. There must be a transport fund that allows for people who want to invest in transportation to get loan at about 5% maximum through the infrastructure bank. They must make, if that facility is there, we now assemble mass transit buses in Nigeria. They do in Lagos, Ojo, Ashok. They do in Ibadan, Leland. They do in is it Anambra or somewhere, Innocent. Yeah. And all those people who are assembling these buses, we have jobs. We create jobs. We create wealth. Then we create buses at reasonable price. Then we can then start putting those mass, and then we can then do our CNG or LPG kind of bus locally here. And with just 300 billion naira, I tell you, you can bring in 20,000 mass transit buses into the Nigerian transportation system. Okay. And with 5,000 of those buses in Lagos alone, the cost of transportation will drop. More money will go into your pocket, more jobs, and you're driving away hunger.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pt.4, former Commissioner for Transport, Lagos State. Mr. Ola Oresanya, former MD of Loma. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Let's see if we can take these one or two tweets before we go. Nicholas Duru says, staggering the school and work time in Lagos will help ease transport bottlenecks and reduce peak time in traffic jams. The dexterous one says, rail, common sense, rail. Number one solution, light rail. Why can't we see this? Well, that's it on this segment of the show. We'll take a moment and come back for another interesting topic. Don't go away.